Forget the toothbrush scene that everyone's hyping about. What about the bathtub scene? The entire episode is basically Shinobu just being naked and Araragi taking a bath with a lolly. Who's not a lolly. She's actually kind of like a MILF. She's not really a MILF though, because that's like 27 years old. I don't think 27 is really a MILF. What am I trying to say right now? It was an interesting bath, that's for sure. It's also fun to note that Shinobu never really, she wasn't lobotomized. She just didn't talk because she was mad at Araragi for what happened in Kizu. She was ruminating. And she was constantly getting lectured by Oshino about oddities too. And after a while, Shinobu was like, alright, I'm fucking done being mad. I'll talk, I'll yap. And she's back to normal. There was a scene where she talks about how we don't need to change. Right? Like I fucked up and you fucked up. And she's talking about how, hey, if you don't watch your back, I'm gonna kill you. But based on their body language, I think they have immense trust for each other. It's honestly beautiful what they have. I hope that a better resolution will happen in the future with Shinobu being able to, I don't know, be more than this shadow of her former self. Some of the other stuff that was interesting was Skihi showed up for a bit, right, during the bath scene, and she was like, she saw Shinobu, but then she was like, I don't know, when she went away, she didn't really question Araragi at all. That was kind of odd. What else? Oh, other than Hanakawa and Senjo's relationship that I already commented a lot about how this is like so weird that someone as dominating as Senjo is so submissive to Hanakawa, and about that deal, right? I still think there's something about the current circumstance of Araragi and Senjo's relationship, and about this isn't part of the deal. I think that Senjo might have actually asked Hanakawa if she's allowed to pursue this relationship. But then it's more of Hanakawa and Karen and the sisters, right? The Fire Sisters, the Bee, Flame Bee. I think Karen is in deep shit and she's got some issues with the Bee. And we need to probably what? Go head off to KAIKI. I think everything is pointing towards KAIKI right now. Let's see what happens today. The sister. Where's the big one? That's so funny to me still. What? That is a cursed ass Mona Lisa on the left. What the fuck? That is terrifying. Why we get mad? Alright. You just switched it up! But what? I don't regret. And because of that, I do regret. God damn it, girl, just say what's on your mind. What are you talking about? Where are we going? Come on. Aragi's losing his patience. Oh my god. What the hell? This is violent. Bro's about to fucking lose it. Did I do that a lot? Strangling? It's kind of like what he... The vibes kind of look like what he would do to Hachikuji for a second. You know, with those eyes in the mouth, but maybe something different. Platinum! Hey! That's her song, right? Platinum! 78 PT. For some reason, I thought about Death Note for a second when I looked into her eyes and the numbers and stuff, like the Shinigami eyes. Piddling? Neither have I, honestly. Now you say it. And she is definitely buying time. What would his regrets be? I bet a lot of them come from Nisemonogatari for the events that happened to Shinobu and stuff. What else? During Bake, I don't know.
でもまあ直接的に聞かれると当惑する。
だからちょっと恥ずかしいか。例えば、お兄ちゃんにはどうして友達がいないのかと。
Because friends make me weak. Friends are just a distraction. I'm stronger without them.
お兄ちゃんにはどうして友達がいないのかとか。
今はいる。
そうなの？何？
驚け。
Yeah. It's a goddamn harem
マ
too.
ジで驚いた。
She was so shocked. She fell off the chair. With Oshino count? Oh, let's see them, right? So we got obviously Hanakawa, for sure. Kambaru, our sex slave. We got our Hachukuji, our imaginary friend that only we can see right now, I think. Hanakawa, I think, can too, right? And then there is Sengoku, our freaky freak. Senjo, girlfriend. Oshino, I think, kind of counts. What about Shinobu? I think Shinobu counts too. Who else is there? Senjo's dad. Senjo's dad doesn't really count. Senjo's, we just had a nice conversation. Doesn't mean really he's really our friend. No, that's about it, right? Oshino, Shinobu, I'd include them.
マジで驚いた。
And maybe Kaiki soon. Maybe Kaiki will be our friend.
かわいそう。きっとそのまま寂しく死んでいく。
What? That's a lot of
に
friends.
ひどいことを言うな。一時期僕に
I think that there was a time back in high school where I'd be so proud. If a little lore, I don't want to glaze myself too hard, but I was like the most popular kid at high school. I would get out of my way to charm and people please because I was the only Asian kid, honestly. And there was this weird psychological interaction happening in my brain where, because I'm such an outsider, I had this longing to be accepted by everyone, and I simply charmed everyone by just being elite at academics, arts, sports, you name it. But it felt very fraudulent. Every single one of those friendships, it was more of, for me, it was like a clout thing. There was no genuine relationships though, you know? And I would sometimes in high school think about all the different, you know, numbers of friends that I had in my head. But at the end of the day, I think 5 genuine, close, deep relationships is way more meaningful than like 500 empty relationships where, again, everything is just so shallow. Nothing wrong with shallow relationships either, especially acquaintances, right? It's impossible to think that every single friend group that you meet, you're going to have a deep relationship and a bond with them, right? So it's perfectly fine, but I think quality absolutely matters more than quantity here.
実の兄にひどいことを言うな。で、今はともかくなのかって話だけどな。そうだな。僕は昔こんな風に思っていたんだ。Less human. That's from Kizu, bro, right? When you make more friends, you become a less human. What's he trying to say? These bonds make him weak. You're happy when they're happy. When you're sad, you're also sad. And that is the price that you pay for putting yourself out there.
もう聞けたのでいいよ。変なこと聞いてごめんなさい。
まだあやかしい話なんてしていない。
He hasn't said his Sigma Lion lines yet.
それ以上傷口を広げなくてもいいの。
She's cringing for us.
体木くん、見てるんだけど。
Hanako.
おそらくは雑談と思われる会話の声が響いてるんだけど。
And she's also the one, remember? That was the victim of Araragi's, like... he deleted her phone number off. Remember Kizu, bro? He was like... I'm deleting this shit! And he was like, oh, fuck. Oh, no, I'm losing aura right now. How do I do this? Delete! And he was like, oh, yet again, I become stronger. And then he got fucking his ass tossed around by dramaturgy. That's what happened.
ああ、悪い。
Oh!
気をつける。悪い。
How big is it? How big is it? I don't know. KAIKI!
しばらく
What the hell?
と言っても、僕が羽川と月日の話を聞き、それを統合
Yo, it's a theme, but a lot more less menacing, more playful. This is great.
と月日の話を聞き、それを統合実際とは少し違うのかもしれないけれど。
Okay. Yokoso. That's a lot of candles. Yeah.
小里編に可能性のか。良いよ。
Okay.
火を憐れむでカレンだ。
Woo! What a name. Wait, what? Be grateful to your parents, okay? This office is It's trippy, man. Look at the designs. The pattern is all black and white. And what's with all those candles in front of him? And I don't even know if he's being sarcastic when he says, be grateful to your parents. Kaden felt a little taken back there by that comment. Which are you? Oh. What are you here for? What? You gonna fight him? Dude, she scammed a scam artist. She's here to enact justice. Remember, she's Batman. Whoa, whoa, whoa. A simpleton! The secret lair? What is he doing? Explain. Basically like a bunch of stupid ass kids has been getting some weird charms, some supernatural shit, oddity stuff from KAIKI, and KAIKI is simply giving these children guns. And now the children are basically fucking around and being victims of guns, so Kaden is here to enact justice, right? What am I thinking? I'm here to profit off of children. Sounds weird. I mean, where does the accountability lie? You know? KAIKI is simply a businessman, and there are a bunch of kids who's coming to him for some sort of like supernatural weapons or charms or hexes. And what those kids do with that shit, is it on KAIKI? I mean, kind of, right? He's the one distributing these powers to children who should not be using it. Absolutely, the accountability lies in not just the children, but their fucking parents too. But like, it would definitely help if KAIKI didn't go around fucking just giving this shit out like candy. Yeah, also, that's the other thing too, right? He gets paid 10,000 for a charm, 20k to undo it. So it's actually really smart where he just profits. He profits off the dumb kids that wants the charms. They're gonna fuck up. They're gonna come to him to get it undone. Then he profits again. It's just good business. But here's the thing too with drug dealers then, right? I think you can absolutely make a one-to-one with drug dealers. Except that he's even smarter than drug, because drug dealers, right? They're not very smart in the way that like their clients are gonna die, you know? Like they sell their product, and you can talk about the same thing about the user's accountability and whether or not the buyer, the supplier should even be supplying the streets, right? I think that again, if you think that it's not the drug dealer's fault that a bunch of people are buying drugs, then you're gonna agree that it's not KAIKI's fault. But beyond that, a drug dealer doesn't have some sort of rehab fee, you know? Once the client dies, that's it. At least he has this some sort of like weird cycling. I'm just starting to realize I'm just respecting KAIKI's business model. I'm just here to make some money. He's right. Is that Araragi right there on the bill? I don't know. It says Akisagawa. Yeah, I'm just a businessman. What a lesson. Yeah, this is quite a funny like matchup right now. On one side, you have Karen, who is just a very naive, young, immature girl who has a very strong sense of justice and ideals. And on the other, you have a shrewd, old, bitter man who's extremely pragmatic and just cares about money. There's no morals or ethics that KAIKI really cares about. He's just here for the fucking hustle, you know? It's pointless for Kaden to even try to like confront KAIKI on like this value system of ideals and justice, because KAIKI's like, I don't give a fuck, lady. I'm just here to make a dime. This is really funny because KAIKI's so relatable. Justice versus capitalism, kinda, yeah. Kaiki is capitalist final boss, right? He's like a libertarian entrepreneur who doesn't give a fuck about morals or ethics. It's all about just getting the bag and that's it. But like the way he talks, the way he like reduces Cotton down, it's hilarious. I could definitely see myself in him. Yo, punch him. Let's see it. And is this actually why, I'm assuming this has happened before, he pulls up in front of Kambaru's place. Goen's daughter, he mentioned, right? And Koyomi at that time was like, my name is Araragi, and I think that he mentioned something, and you guys told me that this is like basically him acknowledging, oh, he's heard that name before because of Karen?
Araragi. A
punch. Yo, if he says like 50,000 yen, you can punch me. I would be livid. Like what goes on in Kaiki's head right now is not the fact that you dare try to punch me, but more of like, how do I make a deal out of this? Can I get some money out of this shit? You can pay me, sure. A kick too? Actually, it'd be even funnier if Kaiki fucks her up. Like, turns out he can actually do martial arts like Oshino, bro, and just brutalizes this girl. Money? Money? Yeah. Just good business. And like, I like it that obviously we can acknowledge being a con man isn't good. Scamming middle school kids is not good. But what I respect is how honest he is about it, right? I care about genuine people. I don't care if you're a genuine asshole or if you're a genuine hero. I care about that you're honest about it. And the fact that he was like, duh, I'm a con man. What did you expect? No. I wonder what his backstory is to turn like this. You know? If he doesn't do it, someone else would. Nah. That line of logic is actually what like drug dealers say to like cope with their like, you know, cognitive dissonance that their product is actually killing people on the streets. Is like, listen, I'm just giving it to him. If I wasn't here, someone else would do it. No matter how true that may be, that a demand will definitely be, you know, supplied by anybody. It's middle school kids are just easy to fool. That's all. But again, I want to know, there's no way you're just born like this, you know? There is no way that you're just born like this. So I'm actually fascinated in what led to Kaiki giving up on being a good person. Because no matter how much you think he's based for this, there really isn't any honor in it. But that's the thing, he doesn't care about honor. He don't give a fuck. It's whatever is most convenient, and he's willing to sell his morals and ethics for money, which is something that I don't think you should be too proud about. Again, I like how genuine he is about it. I don't think he's much of like, you know, a role model, but I think he would also be the first one to say, why the fuck would you take a con man to be a role model? So again, I'm thinking, how did he become like this? What's his backstory? Yeah? Buy me off to get out of here. 3 mil. 3 million. Actually, this is the most human thing. Again, right? Very totally different, you know, types of humans. A human being a moral compass, wanting to enact justice, having ideals, that's very human. A human that also has no morals or ethics and is willing to sell even his mom for a dime, also very human. What's dear to you, bro? Well, yeah, it's evil and good, you know? At the end of the day, right, I think that he's trying to make a point that, like, it is very human, right? Good deeds, evil deeds, it's all two sides of the same coin in which we call human.
俺はそこにどれほどの違いがある。
違いって。
そう。
How do you expect a middle school kid like Karin to debate back? That's another thing that's hilarious to me. This poor girl doesn't know how to fight back. She's all she does is throw a punch. She's not a debate lord, you know? She doesn't know how to fucking do mental gymnastics like KAIKI and Gaslight. It's over.
そう、違いなどない。お前はお前の行為によって誰かを幸せにしかしそれは俺が稼いだ金を浪費してしまんだ変わりがないのだ。今回の件からお前が得るべき教訓は正に金で解決しないこともないということだ。
What's she supposed to say against that?
俺の被害に遭った連中にしてもそうだろう。連中はそれは取引の対価として金を認めたということだ。
Okay.
それともお前はそのジャージを買うとき金を払う。
Oh shit, he got the gloves on. I mean, his logic there, what was it? That like, because you play in a capitalist society that you're forced to play in, and because you use money as transactions, right? You're just as complicit in this shit as me. That's an insane reach though. Right? No, listen, I am following the logic, but what he concluded there to this middle school girl by simply reducing this into saying, you use money, I use money, therefore, nuh-uh, you can't fucking call me a comment. Like, listen, we all just like playing capitalism, therefore it's like, I'm right, you're wrong.
ジャージのことだけは言うな。結論を出せ。私に殴られたいのか。それ。蹴られたくもないな。痛いのは嫌いだ。
Yo, punch her.
だから。
Oh shit! He plants the bee on her. Creepy. It's over. The fire bee. Oh my god.
効果てきめんだな。随分と思い込みの激しいタイプというのは人を見たら詐欺師と思えということだ。人を疑うということを。
The lesson here is never trust anyone from here on out. You should be thanking me actually. This is a free lesson.
許しを請うとでも思ったのか。だと配信させたくば金を詰め。1000
million!
悪いことだよ。もちろん有料だ。
He's robbing her!
4000円か。
Planting the bee wasn't enough? You gonna fucking pickpocket this girl and take 4,000 yen?
話の分はサービスしておく。電車代として小銭くらいは残しておく。
Take that money back, bro. Oh, this is so petty. It's so reasonable though. He was like, I'll leave you the money if you needed some, you know, for the transit fare. Wait, you got a pass? You got a pass? Oh, wait a minute. Nah, I'm taking the fucking change too, lady. Oh man.
なんだ定期券があるのか。ようだな。少しすれば毒が定着し動けるようにはなる。俺はその間にもちろん商売は続けさせてもらうが。
That's right. He gotta be more careful about this next time.
になった。ださらばだ。
Holy shit. Holy shit. That first interaction with Araragi wasn't. It was a brief interaction showing his character design and the aura that he exudes. But we didn't really know much about him other than he kind of looks like a creepy vampire lord and his theme song is epic. Now I feel like we've gotten the real introduction and what a guy. There was something very interesting here about Karen's affection towards that jacket when he talked about you bought that jacket with money too. Seems like that item is very dear to her. Maybe there's some lore about it. And at the end of the day, I think that what all he's saying is very unfair, right? I think that the lesson here is do not get involved into debating a con man if you are a middle school girl without any experience on debating online, right? Like he destroyed her. Not that he was completely correct, but he had a lot of talking points that Karen just could not process or even comprehend to refute with. And his entire thing is about money. Everything is transactional. Nothing is free. I give you this B. And you know what? This B is quite the lesson. It's the lesson of don't trust anyone. Trust that everyone's going to be a con man. And this guy, he's been planning shit for 2 months. Remember, he left town, right? After he scammed Senjo, he left town. And during those 2 months or so of when he was gone, that he said, he's been planning something. And 3 mil yen's worth is the compensation that he's actually planning out. Now, I wonder why he needs the money. Because what if he's doing this because he has like a daughter, he has a mother, or even a wife that has like terminal cancer, and he needs so much money to save them? If it isn't something like that, how does this guy get redeemed? Does he need to be redeemed actually? Can he just remain a sly, con man that's willing to sell everything, his soul, for money because it's based that way? Again, as much as I want to agree that it is based that he is very genuinely a con man, it's also not a very good thing. Not that I'm the one that should be telling you how to live, but I'm just wondering, how does a person turn out like this, right? How does a person become so selfish and so capitalist pilled that's willing to just scam middle school children, fucking pickpocket their wallet, plant in a system where it's 10,000 for a charm, 20,000 to be fixed? It's just good business, but I'm just really interested in his backstory. Overall, this entire interaction, very elite. This was Monogatari at its best, and god damn, Sarabada, farewell. I looked at your penis. Oh, never mind, we're not talking about the penis. Oh, there is actually more lore too. It's not Karen was able to find, right? He said that was impressive. He said that people who have a bit of supernatural or tendencies were supposed to be able to find him, right? And makes sense because the cat.
あのファイヤーシスターズに協力するならっていう文句は言いたいね。
だってその時こそ荒木くんは怒るでしょ。それに私と友達になるのは自由じゃない？
自由だな。
Sure.
だね。せっかくだから荒木くんには黙っていたお詫びとして、このチケットをあげましょう。
Ticket? He doesn't have the balls to do that. We already went over this before in Kizu. He let her down so hard. What the fuck? That's not fair. What? That's a bait. Womp womp.
まあ、私荒木くんあんまりカレンちゃんね。
大丈夫だよ。そっちも心配するな。あいつらがただのわがままで。
そうなんだよね。同族嫌悪の話じゃないけど、やっぱ似てるんだよ。
Are they?
外見の話か？
外見じゃない。
What could that be? A sense of justice? You know, the savior complex that Araragi has shown over and over again. Karen's kind of like that, right? She was very idealistic. She showed up, ready to be Batman and put, KAIKI down. It's also kind of funny that, like, if money was the solution, it wouldn't be that hard for the Araragi family. Because I think they're extremely loaded, right? I think they're really, really rich.
そりゃそうだ。もっとも、僕たち兄弟とお前とじゃ、
押野さん。
Oshino! Genkiいいな!
僕たちのことを見守ってくれている。
Where are you, Oshino?
あいつならきっとカレンちゃんのこととか、囲い火鉢ってのも忍に聞く限りは。
Yeah, but we can't rely on Oshino forever, man. He's got his own thing to do. And that's why he trained up Araragi all through Bake, right? To make sure he can survive without him. Well, at least we have KAIKI now. And you know what? as much as I love Oshino, Kaiki so far shows great potential. I'm not saying he replaces Oshino. Not even close, right? It's not even the same role. But, right, Kaiki is absolutely I welcome as a new character of the series.
忍に聞く限りは随分レベルの低い怪異みたいだし。囲い火鉢？
Vampire.
囲い火鉢ね。でも荒木くんが
Yo, there's some snafu shit right here. Yo, this is a legendary moment in Snafu Season 2, Episode 2, 3? Y'all remember that scene? That shit was fucking hype.
囲い火鉢ね。でも荒木くんが忍ちゃんと和解したっての
悪い話ではないけどな。
まあ星野さんがこの町から出て行ったのも荒木くんに忍ちゃんを任せられる。
Yeah.
本当なら文化祭の直後に和解しててもおかしい。
すると随分時間をかけてしまったもんだ。僕の怠慢と言っていいな。
ってしてないよ。それは私。
Really?
お前は何でも知ってるね。
I only know what I know.
何でもは知らないわよ。
Say it. Catchphrase.
喧嘩っていうのは和解してからが大変なんだから。
The real effort in the fight comes after you've made up. Very wise. True.
変なんだから、その辺の心得違いをしないでね。じゃあこの辺でいいや。
自転車乗ってけよ。
遠
Really?
慮しないけど。
Bye bike.
じゃあありがたく借りてあげましょう。
Who knows what she's gonna do to this bike at home?
明日返すね。
あ、
Sure you will.
今日中に解決しときなさいよ。現勉強をやらなきゃいけないん
Boo! Studying!
だ。高校生としての本分を見失わないでね。
I don't wanna study.
餌だよ兄ちゃん。だから兄ちゃんには黙って口軽すぎ。
He's carrying the big one.
すぎだっつうの。
Oi, big one.
うるせえ。病に。なんか食べたいか？桃缶とか？そうかよ。髪ほどくぞ。
風呂入りたい。
髪。
ご自由に。
Whoa.
風呂は無理だけど。
お願いするわ。不本意ながら。
Just the
服脱いでろ。
just a caring and thoughtful older brother taking care of his sick younger sister. Nothing sus happening here, right?
おい、脱いでろって言ったろ？あ？
ダリー。なんかそしてキセル。
So he needs to strip her. Oh Jesus!
難しい。
なんで俳句調なんだよ。
That was very Hatsukushi
みん
pilled.
なで踊ってるやつが何言ってんだ。
踊ってる言うな。あれは
Nothing sus so far. Armpits?
裏返れ。
めんどい。裏返せ。くそ。
Yeah, you did.
あ？
At least you learned a lesson.
兄ちゃんに言われなくとも切なことくらい分かっ
And right now, what do we need more than strength? We need money. Maybe money is strength, right? Strength is not just brute force, it's about power, influence to do what you can do to enact your own ideals. And right now, if we had that money, we would be able to do that.
てるはなれないじゃん。だからって強くなるまではってことはできないし。
What you gonna do about
私
it?
に流れる正義の血が悪を許さないんだよ。
So chuny. The blood of justice flows through me. But again, that's what Hanekawa said, right? You two are very alike, right? Araragi also has a very strong sense of maybe not justice, but for his desire to save people.
お前は暴れたいだけだよ。
Mm.
僕から見りゃ。
そりゃ兄ちゃんから見ればごっこのさ。
Is that an egg? Kaiki mentioned.
怪奇伝習。
Yeah.
ツイッターであんな変なオカルトみたいなおまじない。
Money.
呪いを流行らせたか。兄ちゃんももう月しちゃう。お金のためだってさ。
Duh.
不安を煽ってそこにつけ込んで実際には何もしないままに。
Good business.
はず私に言ったぞ。
What shame? I have no
入
shame.
れることなく言ったぞ。
I'm a con man. Is he wrong though? He specifically picked middle school children because they're fucking stupid. And it's easy to make money off of them. And it's just good business. There's no morals or ethics or any sort of shame here. It's just, how do I make the most money possible right now?
騙しやすい。
月しちゃんの友 達の戦国って子、あの子。まあ何にしても兄ちゃんに助けられたらしいじゃん。
Kind of.
大な例でさ、怪奇が噂の発信源だとも知らないで怪奇に助けを求めて捕まった子だっている。
Damn, kid is
そんなの
shoplifting.
許せるのか？
That
そんな
desperate.
良くないか。
You know what? Fuck the parents. Listen. It's not just one side is wrong. KAIKI absolutely does not help the problem. Where are the parents here? Where are the goddamn parents teaching their kids, parenting their kids to teach them what is right, what is wrong? The absence of any sort of fucking actual parent is leading to a bunch of gremlin middle school kids that are willing to shoplift and get the money so they can reach out to this fucking con man. You know what I mean?
自分はまだ強くないから何もしないってそんなセリフを言えるのかよ。あいつは
Let it rain, baby.
本当に言うやつがいると。
You don't think people like that exist out of manga? First of all, this is based on a light novel, but there's some sort of funny, you know, awareness happening with this being a fucking anime. But on top of that, a lot of people like this exist in real life. I think everybody has a number, a price. To think that like people like this doesn't exist in real life is very ignorant and foolish. And it's a very shitty symptom of a broken system. Like, for sure, people like that exist and it's bad, but why do they exist like that? Why do you think people have such an obsession over money? Do you think it's because they're just evil? They're greedy? It's out of desperation, right? Of course, billionaires exist where all they care about is more money and money. I mean, at that point, I don't think there's like a difference of how much you make between, let's say, like if you have, for example, a $500,000 salary versus, let's say, instead of 500K, you make 600K. There's a very insignificant difference at that point, right? And I think a lot of people, once you get to a big number, it's all about clout and influence and what that money can do for you. But what I'm trying to say is, for like the average person who obsesses about money and are greedy for that shit, willing to sell their soul, it's out of desperation. It's out of like a broken system that leaves people so fucking desperate to inch for survival. I mean, just look at Squid Game, right? That's what happens when you have a broken system with everyone basically trying to compete and reach for the top while trying to climb over and step over others. You're right, Karan. Why did we go to... Okay. It's very idealistic. Yeah, for sure. I wonder what Ararage is thinking. Is he thinking this is cringe? Or is he thinking that I don't know? Like, she has a lot of good points too. As much as I can see where KAIKI's coming from, this is also true. But this is again a very like sheltered perspective. Why is it sheltered? Because she's a middle school kid who lives in a pretty well-off home, probably has no actual problems of her own. And maybe that's why she goes on to be Batman. I think this is an unfair assessment, but do you think that she does all this hero shit because she's fucking bored? Because she's so privileged that like she wants to be a victim? There are genuinely people like that. There's a lot of people who lived in extremely privileged, sheltered lives where their life is kind of boring. Everything is perfect and there's nothing wrong with their life. So what do? They go and see how they can become a victim by becoming a rights activist for other sort of marginalized groups, right? That's why you see a lot of privileged white women in North America being like social justice warriors or righteous causes, because their lives are so fucking boring that they need to feel like a victim and like tap into other like marginalized communities that are actually like oppressed. Now, I don't think it needs to be that deep though, right? I don't think it needs to be that deep, and these are simply the mindset of, again, a middle school child who has great ambitious ideals, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. Money isn't everything. It's just mostly everything. Ararage is love over money. Yeah? Gonna find KAIKI again? Next time.
兄ちゃん。
試合に
Alright.
武道に身を置くやつの言うこととは思えないな。
勝負にも負けて、それでも自分に負けなきゃ負けじゃね
え。Is this the coping ramblings of a loser that doesn't want to admit that they took an L? Nah, it's about the spirit, right? Alright, I took an L. But who cares? I still have my morals, my ethical code, and my definition of what's right, and I'm not gonna give up. And I'm gonna keep trying and attempting. It's noble. It is very admirable.
だけど、お前がそういう姿勢でいる。
It is funny though, how she thinks she's a warrior though. Bitch, you're a fucking middle school kid. Who are your ops? Well, honestly, she has ops now, and it's KAIKI.
お前がそういう姿勢でいる限り、迷惑するのは周りなんだぜ。
Those around you will suffer.
なんだ見ろ
No, 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 no.
の半分もない。それがどうした
Pathetic. Pathetic. Not even half of Hanakawa's. Araragi not phased.
そんななの
あれが本物だよ。
What kind of dialogue is this? The way that he's looking down on her too. Not even half. What of it? She's the real thing. You're a fake, bro. Faker. Imposter, bro. That's right. Nisei titties.
分かってんだろうけどな。僕としては正直、お前らに羽川と付き合ういい機会だ。これからはあいつからいろいろ動くな、吹きづらい。
もういいよ、だいぶすっきりした。
ここまで来て。
兄ちゃんに病気移しちまった。
We're almost done. Wait, what?
もういいよ、だいぶすっきりした。
We're almost done. Don't stop now. Where are we going? What's left? I know what's left. He's not done yet.
病気移しちまってもつまんねえ。
How thoughtful.
と待ってろ。
Is the bee... Is it possible?
じゃあ、わらがの。
Can it infect me?
じゃあ、おねむあいつの病気を僕に移す方法ってないのか
Oh.
病気っつっても、そもそも意図的に移されたものだ。
Transfer it.
だからこともできるんじゃないのか。
病をお前様が背負う。
What a big bro. How?
わしとしては進められんというか、そのひどく気の進まん方法じゃ。
Why wouldn't you prefer it?
まあ、それはそれで都市伝説なのじゃが、文脈で言っておったような。
Well, what?
見えない言い方だな。お前らしくもない。
許されることなのかどうなのか、わしとしては。
I mean, when she said I wouldn't prefer it, she obviously is very like, you know the look that she gave to Sengoku, right? And she wouldn't prefer this way. What are we doing right now? Are we doing some sort of mana transfer? Is this some like fate shit? Like fucking Emiya, Shiro, and you know, fucking. What are we Rin right now? Like, what are we doing?
わしとしては判断しかねる。
なんだか知らないが、許されるに決まってる方法があるんなら、それが何であれ実行するべきだ。
じゃな。
Describe it.
ならば好きにするがよい。
Okay. You didn't tell me though.
じゃあ行くなら服着せてから言ってくれよ。
Put your own pants on, bitch.
カレン、今からお前と。
It's a kiss. Well, if it's to save our little sister, I guess it has to be done, huh? Cliffhanger? What the fuck? At least there's like honorable reason in why he needs to kiss his little sister. Because he's trying to take her illness. There's not a single point where he is ever even sexualizing his sister, which is honestly, thank God. Thank God that he doesn't look at his middle school sister like that. His only concern right now is to save her, and he's willing to sacrifice himself at doing so. It just happens that in order to sacrifice himself, he needs to kiss her. We'll see what happens. And it's also interesting again how Shinobu said, I wouldn't prefer it, which also, I guess, suggests that Shinobu is very possessive with Araragi in those kind of intimacies, right? Definitely the highlight of today's episode is KAIKI stuff. Because again, when we first met him, we don't really know much about him. We just know that he has a lot of menacing aura and his theme song is cool. This was a very great, thorough introduction to the machinations of KAIKI. And what is he? An unbothered, shameless capitalist who's willing to scam middle school children because it's more profitable. There is no morals or ethics. It's all about the pursuit of money, and that is the only goal. Nothing in life is free, and he's willing to learn lessons or even give lessons. I also loved how fair he was when he was robbing Karen's wallet and saw that you need to go home somehow. A transit pass, oh, you have that. Actually, I don't need to give you these coins anymore. That was a very interesting line, right? The fact that he actually thought about, you need to take the bus home. You need some coins. Oh wait, you have a bus pass. I'm gonna be taking these coins. That little subtle thing was very funny to me. Also, again, the fact that he is so shameless. It's like, what did you expect? I am a con man. I'm here to scam and I'm here to get my fucking money. And next time, he's gonna be a lot more careful and he's gone. And he gives Karen a great lesson. Don't trust anybody. Assume that everyone's a con man. Goodbye. I want more KAIKI scenes, and especially I want his backstory. What kind of backstory, what kind of experiences creates a man like this? It must be a tragic one. Or maybe there's nothing sad about it. Maybe he just loves money and luxury, and it's not about stockpiling up money to save a loved one, but he's just like, I just want to buy a new fancy car, bro. That's it from me. If you're still here though, if you enjoyed this reaction, please like the video. Check out the other playlists for even more content, and until next time, take care.